To me, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie to date, and one of my favorite movies of 2018. Not only does it include breathtaking, groundbreaking animation and an entertaining soundtrack, it truly embodies what it means to be Spider-Man. It embodies what it means to wear the mask, and what it means to take on that responsibility. A common idea with Spider-Man is that anyone can wear the mask, and this movie proves this. Anybody can be Spider-Man. Old, young, black or white, black and white. Just as this movie gives us a peek of who's behind the mask, or the masks, I want to take a look at one of the most prominent themes in the movie, taking a leap of faith. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse follows a thrilling collision of multiple spider people from different universes into one. We first begin in the movie's main universe, where we are introduced to this universe's Peter Parker, followed by our main protagonist, Miles Morales. Not too soon after, the other spider characters are brought into the scene. Peter B. Parker, Gwen Stacy, Penny Parker, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Ham. Minus the first Peter Parker who dies, and Miles who already lives there, each of the spider people have been brought to this universe by a collider created by the wounded antagonist, Wilson Fisk, and the devious Olivia Octavius, the Dr. Octopus of this universe. A central focal point in the movie follows Miles' identity as Spider-Man. From the moment he gains his powers, Miles lives in a constant state of denial. He denies being bit by a radioactive spider. He even denies the abilities that are coming out of his own hands. He wants nothing to do with the responsibility that comes with being Spider-Man. After watching both the iconic Spider-Man of his universe and his own Uncle Ierdan die, Miles just isn't ready to take on that burden. As Peter B. Parker takes on a mentorship role with the young Miles, he teaches him the ins and outs of being Spider-Man. But we can only watch in devastation as Miles never fully commits to the job. And you cannot be a part-time Spider-Man. Being Spider-Man requires the type of commitment that is owed not only to oneself, but to the people. You have to want to be Spider-Man. As Peter B. Parker states, you never know exactly when you are ready. You have to have faith and take the leap. However, before we delve into Miles' leap of faith, let's take a look at our other characters with commitment issues. Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Gwen in her universe, was able to save her family. But on the way, she tragically loses her best friend, Peter Parker. And I don't think they were just best friends. After his death, we see Gwen make a promise to herself to avoid creating relationships, to avoid making friends, to avoid, as she says, distractions. I think Gwen is actually afraid to lend her heart out to anyone anymore, because losing Peter gave her a glimpse of what can happen when the person who holds your heart has to let go of it. But then Miles comes along, and suddenly we see Gwen open up. She says that she'll put him into consideration, and in the end, Gwen takes a leap of faith and accepts Miles as her friend. And the second spider person we watch take a leap of faith is Peter B. Parker. In his universe, Peter had been the Spider-Man for 22 years running. However, he did not exactly mirror the perfect Peter of Miles' universe. Peter B. Parker is haunted, and he is depressed. He is haunted by the loss of Uncle Ben and Aunt May. He's haunted by his failed relationship with Mary Jane. So when Peter was forced into this new universe, a universe where his Aunt May is alive and MJ is still faithfully in love with her perfect Peter, Peter finds himself not wanting to leave. He didn't want to return to his life of solitude and sadness, which is why Peter B. Parker is so adamant on him being the one to use the collider to close the portal to the other worlds. Yes, Miles was not initially ready for the task at hand, but even when Miles did prove he was ready, Peter was very open with his hesitance to leave. But as he once told Miles, all you have to do is take that leap. And after seeing the liveliness of Mary Jane in Miles' universe, Peter B. is brought back to his feelings for her, brought back to the value of their relationship. And so, with Peter holding on to Miles' hand, he takes that leap of faith and lets go. now ready to return to his life and to his Mary Jane. And finally, we return to Miles Morales. As I stated, Miles never fully commits to being Spider-Man. Even in the final moments between him and his mentor, he fails. He cannot escape the clutches of Peter B. Parker to prove his power and his worth to the team. Miles was so focused on being ready and having the right tools to be a hero instead of just being. Following that, Miles' father tells his son that he has always recognized a spark within him, and that this spark will be what makes him amazing, regardless of what he decides to do with it. It is this approval that finally motivates Miles. It is here that Miles finally becomes Spider-Man. He is finally ready to take that leap of faith. This is personified by Miles' reflection inside of the Spider-Man mask. Earlier in the movie, his face was below the reflection of the mask, but now he is ready. As he sits on the building he shied away from earlier, Miles takes a literal leap of faith. We watch in amazement as the glass shatters off the building, representing that although Miles is ready, he was still not fully comfortable in his new role and not yet fully in control of his abilities. But regardless of his nerves, Miles has no choice but to take that leap if he wants to help his friends. And in the beautiful shot, Miles is falling, but with a quick rotation of the camera, Miles isn't falling. Miles is rising to the challenge of becoming Spider-Man. Rising to the challenge of winning his parents' approval, of fitting in at his new school, of finally being himself. Miles is now Spider-Man, and in the song Behind the Scene, we hear the words, "What's up, danger? He is ready." Nearly everything you do in life requires some form of commitment, and as a creator, especially at any level, to put your hard work, your thoughts, your ideas and feelings out in a place where anyone can judge you, watch you and your work, takes tremendous courage. Some people may never do it. Some feel as though their work needs to be perfect before they put it out. Some people are waiting to be told that they are ready. As Miles and Peter show us, you will never know when you are ready. What you can do is take a leap of faith, because that's all it takes.